Hey everybody, welcome to JCC Sunday Morning Yoga. This is Andrea and this is Kripalu Style Yoga. So everybody that's here with us today, you know what Kripalu Yoga is, but for those who don't, Kripalu Yoga is a Hatha style. It's focused on conscious movement, being very mindful of proper alignment, and conscious breathing. To help move prana throughout the body and to help make the body healthy and strong and relaxed and to help get the body ready for meditation. There will not be time for a meditation following today's practice, but today's practice is a little bit of a moving meditation. You can also stay and when the class is over and just sit with yourself if you would like. So Kripalu Yoga is also about compassionate self-awareness. So learning how to observe sensations in the body, both in the physical body as well as the energetic body, about noticing thoughts and feelings without judgment. If anything that I offer doesn't feel good in your body, please don't do it. I'm just your tour guide. You know your bodies better than I do. So do what you need to do to keep yourself safe. I will show posture options, so if something that I'm offering isn't accessible for you, I can show you some other options as well. And if you ever have any questions, you can put them down in the chat. Those are sent to me, or you can shoot an email to Susan Donovan at the JCC, and she'll make sure I get that. Okay, so today's class is a class that I borrowed and then added my own touch to. From a gentleman named Jason Crandall. He's one of my favorite yoga teachers. I tend to really like classes that are very much focused on anatomy and physiology, that are broken down into simple steps, and he does that. I first learned about Jason through Yoga Glow. That's yoga.glo. It is a platform that you can subscribe to. But he also has his own yoga teacher training and his own YouTube videos. So this particular class, you can just Google jasoncrandall.com, yoga for back pain. And this was in 2016. What I like about his classes is not only does he do the postures, but he gives you a template, which I can always send to you after the class. Just put it in the chat that you would like a copy. And they have visuals. And then there are also some words. So for those people that like to have words. Somebody else who I like, it's from a YouTube channel called, I believe it's pronounced Siddhi Yoga, Siddhiyoga. And I can also, if you want information about his YouTube videos, he does one posture at a time. He breaks them down very short, very succinct. He gives posture options. He tells what the benefits are, what the contraindications are. So very, very safe. I highly recommend that. Okay, so here we go. Find a comfortable position in which the spine can be tall. The hips are up higher than the knees. I'm sitting up on a meditation cushion, but you can sit up on a block, some regular pillows in your home. If you're working with sensitivity, you can always lengthen one leg at a time or lengthen both legs. And as always, you have the option of coming onto your back in a supine position. Let the hands rest comfortably on the legs as you draw your shoulders forward, down, and back. Just take a moment to settle in, feeling the sensations of your body, feeling your body as it connects to the earth. Or maybe you're in a chair. You always have the option of practicing our postures from a chair. Notice the sounds in the room. And as you settle in, maybe you notice a sound inside your body. Maybe your stomach is grumbling. Notice the temperature of the air around you. And then let the belly get soft, so that as you draw the breath into the body, the belly will expand. As you exhale, draw the navel in toward the spine, emptying out completely. If you're working with nasal congestion, it is perfectly acceptable to breathe in and out of the mouth. On the next inhalation, feel the belly inflate, and then feel the rib cage expand. Exhale completely. On the next inhalation, the belly inflates, rib cage expands, and chest rises. Empty out completely. Deepen the inhalation. And then pause at the top of the inhalation for just a heartbeat. And then exhale completely. By breathing in this way, the body naturally comes into the Dirga Pranayama, the complete yogic breath. You can use this as a tool throughout your day to help calm the body's nervous system. And then take a moment to notice any thoughts that are present without judgment. And as we move together today, the mind will continue to wander. Just keep bringing the awareness back to the breath. Notice the body's energy level. And notice any feelings. And then take a moment to connect to that part of the self, the true, authentic self. Some of us call it the heart space. Take a moment to connect to that. And set an intention for your practice today. What is it that brought you here today? Maybe you're looking to let go of some tension. Maybe you're coping with an illness or pain. Maybe you just want to get strong and work on balance and flexibility. Take a moment to connect to that intention and then sealing it within the heart. Bow to yourself and honor yourself for your dedication to your health and your yoga practice. And we're ready to begin our physical asana. You can allow the eyes to float open, or you can keep the eyes closed and draw the attention inward. We're going to begin on our backs with a position that we very often practice together. It's the reclined big toe pose. So again, if you have a strap, great. If not, you can use something else. All right, co-pilots, you guys gotta move on out of the way. Okay. Let the body be comfortable. Bring a slight tuck to the chin and let your shoulders draw down and back. Extend your left leg and place the strap on the fleshy part of the foot. Take a deep inhale, and then as you exhale, draw the leg toward your head. Inhale, the leg presses away, and then exhale. So we have 3 hamstring muscles here, and by lengthening those, that will help us with our pelvic stability, which is a really important part of having a healthy back. And we must just intuitively know this because this is something that we always seem to ask for whenever we practice together. Remember, as we practice, to breathe slowly and deeply and smoothly. And notice if your breath becomes jagged, then you've probably gone too far and you're going to want to ease back. Remember, as we practice, this is great. I'm being recorded, and this is the day that my dogs are all over the place, one having seizures. Sorry, we're just going to go with the flow, guys. It is what it is. Take hold of the strap and allow the leg to flow out to the side. Use your hand to stabilize your hip. We're going to just go halfway. Breathe into the leg. Feel the hamstring muscles. Notice sensation. And then if you'd like to let the leg go down lower, we're switching now to the muscles inside the leg, the adductor muscles. Hey, cameraman, you think you could do something with this fur baby? Maybe you can come pick him up and go put him in our bedroom and shut the door. He's being super distracting today. And then inhale the leg up, extend your right leg, and allow the leg to float over to the side. Whoop. And then inhale through center. From here, we're coming into figure 4, or some people call this pigeon, some people call it thread the needle. If you can reach through, if it's available to you, reach through. If that's difficult, if your arms are on the shorter side, then use a strap and draw the leg unit toward the head. Breathe deeply, smoothly, sending the breath into the parts of the body where you feel sensation. Try to keep in mind as you move today to keep the natural curve of the spine, especially the lordotic curve, which is the lower part of the spine. And one last full inhale and exhale. Okay, let's switch sides. Also, remember, during today's sequence, yoga is for everybody, but not all positions are for everybody. And that's a direct quote from Jason Crandall. He also suffers from chronic back pain. For over 20 years, he's been dealing with it. And for him, a regular yoga practice has helped him to live a better quality of life. But there are certain postures that a lot of people love that just either don't do anything for him or actually cause him discomfort or pain. So as I said earlier, if anything hurts, don't do it. Inhale deeply, and then exhale, slowly and smoothly moving the leg toward the head. Inhale deeply, exhale, leg comes out to the side. Stop halfway so that you can feel the stretch and the muscles inside the leg. And then allow the leg to go down just as far as feels comfortable, and you'll feel, I'm sorry, this is for the 3 hamstrings. This is for the adductor. So you're going to feel the intense stretch here for the adductor muscles. You don't have to go that far. You can stay right here. Find that sweet spot. Inhale through center, extend the left leg, and the leg floats over. And then inhale back through center and come on back into that figure 4 again. Deep inhale. Exhale, draw the leg unit toward the head. And then release. Draw both knees into the chest. Take a deep inhale and exhale. If it would feel good, you can add a little rock from side to side. And then extend your left leg. Wind relieving pose. One leg is hugged. As you move the leg, you'll feel your abdomen getting a massage. So wind relieving pose is given its name for that reason. It helps press air through the body. This is a good posture for relieving cramps, for constipation. If anybody is working with acute pain, let's switch sides, or had recent surgery, then these postures that we're about to do are not going to feel good to you. So do whatever it takes to keep yourself safe. And bridge pose, feet come to the earth, walk your feet toward your buttocks, and keep a slight tuck of the chin. Feel your shoulders connect to the earth. Draw your shoulders down. Engage all your abdominals as if you're shrink wrapping them, and then press the pubic bone up toward the ceiling. Squeeze the legs together, and you might need to play with the position of your feet here. Maybe you need to walk the feet further apart. You find what feels most supportive for your body. There should not be any pain in your knees right now. If bridge pose feels too uncomfortable for you or you feel vulnerable, you can always come onto your belly and practice Sphinx pose, which is also going to be part of our sequence today. With Sphinx pose, the shoulders are stacked over the elbows and the shoulders draw down and back and the chest lifts. Be careful not to press the belly too firmly into the earth. That can cause a bit of compression in the lower back. Rather, press your pubic bone into the earth. Press the tops of the legs and the feet into the earth. And breathe deeply. This is going to feel great for some people. Some people are going to want more. And some people can't wait to get out of this. When we practice, you can either hold your postures in stillness or you can move in and out of them. So that's an inquiry for you to experiment with. And then slowly release. If you're in bridge pose, come down one vertebra at a time. If you're in Sphinx pose, you can windshield wiper your legs to release any tension that might be in your lower back. Okay, beautiful. Alrighty, for our next postures, excuse me, this particular posture is called Jathara Parivartanasana. We usually just call it revolved abdomen pose or supine spinal twist. Couple of options here. If you have blocks at home, I love to use blocks. Blocks offer a more restorative, deeply relaxing effect from this posture. Some people like to have a more active experience with this, so go back to the intention that you set at the beginning of your practice. And what is it that you're looking to take away from today's practice? I'm looking for something a little bit more gentle and restorative, so I will show you that first, and then I'll show you something more active. Draw the knees into the chest. This is going to be the more restorative version. Knees come into chest, and then the legs come out to the sides. You can use your blocks to support the knees and the ankles. If you don't have blocks at home, you can stack books. Your gaze can be straight up toward the ceiling, or you can take your gaze to the other side. Okay, that pop did not hurt. Popping is okay, but pain is not. This is a wonderful, wonderful posture for resetting the spine. And again, breathe slowly and deeply and steadily. Inhale through center, knees come in deep to the chest, and then exhale to the other side. Take those blocks with you if you want a more restorative version. If your legs go down to the ground, that's great. I like to just keep my blocks there, and I like to keep my gaze straight up. This shoulder should not be hanging out in midair. So if you're working with a lot of tightness, my hip flexors are so tight, and my hamstrings, and my back. So this is really, really difficult for me. So normally I would be stacking a blanket under here. You can put a pillow, something to keep it supported. And then inhale through center. Now, for those that want a more active version, the legs will be at a 90-degree angle, okay? And slowly, slowly, slowly engage your abdominals, and you're going to get a little bit of a core workout here as the legs come down to the side. And like I said, you can flow in and out of postures, coming down, inhaling through center, slowly, slowly, slowly. Try to keep it at a 90-degree angle, and then slowly to the other side. Okay, so you decide whether or not you want the 90-degree angle and the floating from side to side to get in that extra abdominal work, or hold the posture and stillness and draw the knees into the chest and let the body rest in stillness, with or without the blocks, you decide. So keep breathing. We'll try to do 3 full breaths on each side. Deep inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Take your time. And when you're ready, reach the arms overhead, lengthen out the legs. You could wriggle from side to side. So those 5 exercises that we just did, those are great for opening the hamstrings and the inner thighs, inner legs, the adductor muscles, and a little bit of the hips. Okay, the next activity we're going to do, 2 of them to focus on core. So obviously we all know a strong core is important for avoiding low back pain. I'm also going to do what Jason did, throw in a downward facing dog in between to lengthen out the spine. So for this core exercise, he calls this the core connector, and he uses a block. So you don't need a block, you can just squeeze your legs as if there were a block there. And then take a nice deep inhale, and then as you exhale, lift the legs as you lift the arms. Imagine you've shrink wrapped everything here. And let's hold for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower down. Deep inhale, full exhale. Another deep inhale. And full exhale. One more deep inhale. Engage your abdominals and come on up. Don't hold your breath. I exhaled as I came up, but keep breathing even though you're holding. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Deep inhale as you lower down and exhale. Inhale and exhale. You can stop anytime. Let's try together one more time. Deep inhale and exhale. Squeeze the block, engage your core, all your abdominals. Imagine a corset and hold. Breathe for 3 and 2 and 1. Well done. Feet come down, lower down. Deep inhale and exhale. Deep inhale and exhale. Beautiful. We're going to come into a little down dog just to lengthen the spine. If that's something that doesn't feel good to you, you can do something different. I'll show you puppy pose. Also, lots of ways to modify down dog using blocks or a chair. Also, let me just set my timer. Since I don't have my cameraman, I want to make sure I don't keep you over. Okay, here we go. 30 minutes left? Okay, here we go. Okay, a couple of options here. If downward facing dog doesn't feel good in your body, you can walk your legs away from your hands and then walk your hands forward, engage your abdominals, and come into puppy pose. Forehead comes down to the earth. If it's difficult to reach the earth, bring the earth to you. You can use a block or a pillow. This is a pretty intense shoulder opener, and it does lengthen the spine. So that's option number 1. Option number 2, if it's difficult for you to flex your feet, you can step on something that's rolled up when you do downward facing dog. I've never met anybody whose feet come firmly on the earth for downward facing dog. And quite honestly, that's not the goal. The goal is to lengthen the spine and open up the shoulders. And we do that by pressing the feet down, bending the knees deeply, and let the head and come between the arms if possible. The hands are spread as wide as you can, and you're pressing into the fleshy part of the hands. So this is an option. Some of us might have open hamstrings right now. You can swivel the hips and pedal the legs. You can use blocks when you practice your downward facing dog. Again, you want to send your hips up and back, or you can use a chair. So if you had a chair here, you can just imagine, you could hold the sides of the chair. You can also bend the knees. You can swivel the hips, you can pedal. You can also use the wall for downward facing dog. Okay, so lots of options there. Normally, when we have a regular yoga practice, we usually breathe for 3 full inhales and exhales. If you're just coming back to your mat, 1 is fine. Do whatever feels good for your body. Okay. After downward facing dog, we're going to come into forearm plank. Another excellent yoga exercise that you can practice for good back hygiene. So for forearm plank, come onto the arms. You can make fists if you would like. I'm going to actually start from a down position, okay? Curl the toes And then engage all your abdominals as if you're shrink wrapping. And then hold. You can adjust your feet as far apart as you need to. And the goal, you don't want your butt up here and you don't want your belly to sink down. You want to try to keep your body like a plank of wood. Now, if forearm plank is not cutting it for you and you'd rather do like a modified plank, couple of options. If you're working with wrist sensitivity, you can roll your mat, place the fleshy parts of your hand on the mat, and keep the knees bent. So this would be a modified plank. There might be some of you who want to practice a full plank, and that's fine. Go for it. You find that place where too much would lead to injury. We don't want that. Not enough would lead to stagnation. So you find that spot that challenges you. Okay. So Jason has people practice Sphinx pose next for the back extension. Now I showed that earlier as an alternative to bridge pose. So I'm going to offer it again. This would be part of the regular sequence if you wanted me to email it to you. If you want to change it up and do a bridge pose right now, you can. I'm going to go right back into a Sphinx pose for the back extension. Now, we threw in a bridge pose at the beginning. And I did that because I prefer to have a bridge pose to help my body prepare for that supine twist that we did. I don't like going right into supine twist if I haven't done this first. So again, it doesn't matter what expert you're watching, it's your body. So experiment, find what feels good for you, and include that in your yoga practice. So again, we're not pushing our bellies firmly into the ground. We're pressing our pubic bone into the earth. We're pressing our legs and the tops of our feet. We're drawing the shoulders down and we're lifting the chest. So you should not be feeling any compression in your lower back right now. I have to say, this feels really good right now. And one more deep inhale. And then slowly lower down. Make a little pillow with your hands, rest your head. And you can windshield wiper the legs, or European windshield wiper the legs. And then turn the gaze and do the other side. Okay, beautiful. All right, so now we've worked on opening our hips, our hamstrings, and our adductor muscles. We've worked on some core exercises. We've worked on lengthening our spine. In fact, let's just throw in another puppy pose or another downward facing dog. I think that might feel good after what we just did. Press the hands into the earth, curl the toes, and then send your tailbone up and back. Draw your head down between your arms. You can swivel your hips. You can pivot. If you want to know how far apart to keep your hands from your feet, you can start in a plank pose and then press up and back. That should be your ideal distance for your down dog. Oh. Tip number 1, do not wash your yoga blanket with fabric softener. That defeats the whole purpose of it. Okay, there we go. That's a little bit better. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, here we go. We're going to go into cat pose. What's interesting to me is that the reason Jason put the Sphinx pose in is because he does not like cow pose. So normally when I guide you all in yoga, we do this. We go from cat, rounding the spine, tucking the chin, and looking at the navel, into cow. We drop the belly, we lift the gaze. I always felt compression in my lower back, and I never really liked this particular posture. So if you're like that and you don't like it, you can do Sphinx pose instead. So you can do a few rounds of cat and then practice Sphinx. You're going to get the same type of stretch for your body. So today we're just going to do cat. So neutral position, shoulders over wrists, spread the fingers wide. Inhale, round the spine, tuck the chin. Look at your belly button. And then exhale to neutral. Inhale, round. And exhale, neutral. Inhale, round. And exhale, neutral. Beautiful. If you would like, you can curl your toes and sit back. If that doesn't feel good for your body, don't do it. The next activities that we do are going to be for our hips. Now, I like to have some kind of support for the hip. Actually, pretty much everyone I know does. You can use blankets to do that. You can use pillows. You can use blocks, but you know, they are a little bit pokey, but you could always get creative and wrap some towels around them. Let's see how it feels with the yoga cushion. So to come into pigeon pose is really good for stretching the outer posterior hips. It's also good for the gluteus maximus, and there are 6 external rotators that live underneath the gluteus maximus. And it also, believe it or not, does stretch the front of the pelvis, the flexors that lay on the front of the pelvis. So to come into pigeon pose, and again, if this doesn't feel good for you, go back to where we were on our backs and doing figure 4, you know, this one right here. This is the first evolution of pigeon pose right here, okay? Next evolution is here. For some people, this doesn't feel good, especially if you're working with cranky knees. If you're not, draw the right leg forward, extend your leg, look back. You want that leg to be as straight as you can get it. This foot can be right in your groin. It's okay if it's there. Let me turn a little bit so you can see how it looks with me. If you're working with cranky knees, you can always put extra padding here. Okay, so see how my foot is here? Some people walk the foot out to the side. I don't really like the way that feels, but you can do that if you'd like, or you can keep your foot right here. Now, notice what happens if I don't provide support underneath. My body's going to want to lean to the right. Ouch, not good. We also want these 2 bones to face forward. So I want something underneath there. That's better. Okay, for pigeon, you can come up onto the tips of your fingers, draw your shoulders down and lift your chest. Breathe deeply. And again, you experiment with what feels good. Maybe you want to try walking the foot out just a little bit. Breathe deeply and slowly. So Jason Crandall says to think of this particular sequence, like anything else in life, as hygiene for the spine. And with good hygiene, we have to practice it every day, right? Even if we don't want to, even if it's just for a few minutes. It's like flossing. Think of it as flossing for your spine. Now, some people like to go lower and bring their forehead to a block. You can do that as well. And then whenever you're ready, slowly come on out. Remove your prop. Make any little movements that would help release any tension in your body. You can even sink back into a child's pose. And then switch sides. So again, you're going to want some kind of support. Check back, you want your back leg to be straight. Find what feels good. Your foot can be right in your groin, or you can walk that foot out. Provide as much support. You can even build up a couple of layers of pillows. Draw your shoulders down and back, and then lift the gaze. If pressing into your fingertips is uncomfortable for you, you can use blocks. Any side. You can use books as long as they're not slippery books. And breathe. Adjust so that you're not pressing into your lower back. You should be feeling this in the hip. And then if you'd like to experiment with coming down to the earth, or maybe you bring your head to a block, we'll stay here. If it works for you, 3 full breaths. Otherwise, come in and out, whatever you would like. And then as you're ready, come on out of pigeon pose, step back into tabletop, and make any movements that would help release any tension in your body. You can do some barrel rolls, maybe wag the tail. Okay, next posture in this sequence is low lunge. It's something we've practiced together before. I like to use blocks for that, but you don't need to. If you're working with cranky knees, have some extra padding there. Step the left leg forward. You can adjust your blocks or books to whatever height you need. And knee stays stacked over the ankle. If you would like to add the arms, I know you can't see me completely right now, but you may add your arms and you can lift them straight up, or if that doesn't feel good, bring them out to the side and bring them up. It's okay if you come with the knee over the toes as we lunge forward, sinking down here with the quadricep, the back leg. Breathe deeply. Now you have the option going from low lunge to low lunge quadricep stretch. So let me get my extra padding. I'll show you an alternative, because this is not one of my favorite postures. In fact, I hate it. Let's just be honest. But when I practice it on my belly, like we usually do, I love it. So you have the option of practicing on your belly, reaching out long through the hands and feet, and then right hand reaches back to find right foot. If your arm is not long enough to reach, you can take your strap and tie it around your foot and then reach for the strap. This is a lot easier to do if you have a partner to practice yoga with, but you can certainly, with a little practice, get the hang of doing it with a strap yourself. So there's an option of doing it that way, or we were just in low lunge. So from low lunge, opposite hand is going to reach back for that back foot. So my right leg is back, my left hand is going to reach back and find the foot. Oh, not today, it's not. Nope, not happening. So I'm not going to push it. Again, you could always use a strap to reach back and gently hold that strap. So my quads are super duper tight. One of the things Lee Albert recommends, and I think Alan Franzi also recommends, is stretching these daily. And you can do that at work just by putting your foot up on your chair every single day, and then turning around and putting it on the chair that way, on the back of the chair, so that you're getting some lengthening in daily. Okay, let's switch sides. Low lunge, opposite side. Sink down. The knee will come over the toes. Drop your shoulders and lift your gaze. For some reason, I find low lunge pose where we do the quad stretch, where we reach back, a lot more challenging than when we do it from pigeon pose. So I know in times past when we practiced together, we have practiced king pigeon, where we reach back and take hold of the back leg. And maybe it's because it's the same hand taking the leg. Again, you always have the option of lifting your arms if you're looking for some variation. If lifting straight up doesn't feel good, you can open up to the side if that feels better for the shoulders. Beautiful. And then come on back. I'm going to come on to my belly. You have the option of doing the twist here of bending. Opposite hand finds opposite foot. So my quads are too tight. It's not going to happen, not even close. So come onto my belly. Reach long through arms and feet. And then same hand reaches back to find same foot. Again, you can use a strap. Be careful here. The knee's going to want to splay out. Try to keep the knee pointing toward the bottom of your mat. Breathe for 3 and 2 and 1. Excellent. Next posture is going to be high lunge with a prayer twist. So let me lift up the screen. I believe we've all practiced this together before. So with high lunge, whoops, a little too high. Basically, same exact thing. Step forward with the left foot, step back with the right foot. Front knee is stacked over the ankle, and then these two bones are facing forward. Beautiful. And then hands come to heart center. Lift up nice and long, and then we rotate our body. Actually, let me turn around so that you can see better. We rotate our body so that we look as if we're praying. And our elbow comes down. If you're working with wrist sensitivity, you can make a fist, okay? And if this doesn't feel good, you can always just keep your hand right here. And if it hurts, don't do it. Slowly unravel, bend both knees and step the feet together. And then we switch sides. Right foot forward. We're on the ball of the back foot. Sink down. So hopefully you're feeling a little bit more of a lengthening in the quadriceps now. Hands come to heart center. Breathe deeply, lift up tall. Lengthen the spine, and then prayer twist. So we're stacking. pressing out through the ball of the foot. Again, cranky wrists, make a fist. And let's breathe for 3 and 2 and 1. Slowly unravel, bend both knees and step the foot. Beautiful. Okay, 2 more and we're done. Here we go. Easy pose twist. Come to a comfortable seated position. Bring the hips up higher than the knees. Find a tall spine. And then right hand comes behind you, left hand comes to the front of the leg. Never forcing, never trying to get anywhere. Inhale through center, exhale, twist. So for a lot of people who have chronic back pain, twists can feel very soothing at the end of a practice. Any type of twist, you don't have to do easy twists. If your back is tired, you can go back to what we did at the beginning, doing twists on the earth, on the floor with the support from the floor. Inhale through center, exhale, twist. And then we'll end with a really soothing, gentle forward fold, which is my favorite, child's pose. Lots of options with child's pose. I like to have my knees to the outer edge of the mat and my feet together. That allows a little bit more room for the abdomen to just kind of relax. I like to also have some support here. That can be very soothing, especially since we're ending our practice now. We want to start to take our attention and draw it inward, and child's pose is excellent for introspection. The arms do not have to reach far overhead like they did in puppy pose. The arms can be slightly in front of you. You can rest your head on the earth or on a block. You could also bring your hands by your sides and let your palms face up. Some people like the hands on the lower back. And still some people like to bring their hands into prayer pose. You can stay here as long as you would like. If you need a little bit more relaxation, stay as we conclude our practice. If your practice feels complete, you can slowly make your way to a seated position. Find a tall spine and draw the shoulders forward, down, and back. Draw the hands to heart center, and with a slight bow, honor yourself, again, for getting up early, for showing up, even if you just showed up to breathe. That is yoga. Even if you just did 1 or 2 postures, that's yoga. Just being together in community, even though we can't see each other or hear each other, we can feel each other's energy and take comfort in knowing that we are all in this together. And know that whatever it is that you wish for yourself today, and as you take your yoga off the mat, know that I wish it for you too. Thank you, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week ahead. If you have any questions,